Hey Gordon-Conwell, my name is Steve Clark. I am a 2019 Master of Divinity graduate, and I've been working as a solo pastor in upstate New York in a village called Corinth, about an hour north of Albany, since the year that I graduated Gordon-Conwell. Especially in the midst of COVID, it has been tremendously difficult to learn what it looks like to be a solo pastor. I've been really immensely grateful for my academic experience at Gordon-Conwell, and yet at the same time, especially in the midst of COVID, there are just things that cannot prepare you for what you enter into. Like when somebody eats your tulips from your front yard. You just didn't really study it in systematic theology. But I've been especially grateful for things like the preaching courses that gave me a template that I come back to each week when I'm preparing a sermon, or the pastoral ministry classes that give me case studies I can look to when I encounter a particularly tricky situation at the church. I think the most valuable thing that I experienced during my time at seminary, though, were the relationships that I built with people. I still call my good friend Sue Kim every week as we talk through the ups and downs and challenges of pastoral ministry. I look back to professors and friends I built relationships with that ultimately helped me to grow more spiritually formed in my own walk with God. And I think as other people are preparing to graduate and go into ministry, that's the most key thing that I would say I've experienced, is learning to take a weekly Sabbath, learning what it looks like to care for my own soul, learning what it looks like to develop spiritual friendship, and learning how to develop my own walk with God. Because if I'm not growing in my own relationship with God, then I don't really have a leg to stand on when I'm preaching His grace to other people. Everybody's always going to have a different version of what it looks like to be a pastor, and there's no way to meet all of the people's expectations. So the most key thing for me has been learning to just day in and day out, what does it look like to ask what God would be pleased with today, and make sure that I'm leaning upon His grace and not finding my self-worth in, nailing all the exegetical points in a sermon or perfectly pastorally caring for everyone or all the other expectations that might be out there. So I'm incredibly grateful for the way that I built relationships, that I invested time with people, and for all the things that I learned during my time at seminary. I know that without that academic background, without the preaching background, without the pastoral ministry classes, it would have been an even more bewildering past couple of years than it's been. So I'm tremendously grateful for my time there, and I'm continuing to be hopeful for the more students that Gordon-Conwell is bringing out into ministries that really need it. You can find the website of our church at www.corinthfirstpres.org. It's an eco-Presbyterian church. I've got video sermons there, as well as a blog there that was updated sometime in the past couple of years. And you're welcome to follow us there. But thanks, and God bless all of you who are continuing on in your studies there.